Hello, my name is Jessica Motto, and today I wanted to take some time with you all and discuss some of the elements of healthcare. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it perfectly when he said, "Of all the forms of equality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane." In our world today, having ethical and moral standards is extremely crucial in healthcare. Nobody should go without care, and ensuring that this is done ethically and fairly is an ongoing process through all elements of healthcare. Although rules are ever changing, physicians graduating today are still swearing to uphold an oath just like physicians have done years past. This oath includes the promise of fidelity, faithfulness, the promise to observe patients' confidentiality, and the promise to have respect for those under their care. Basilios 2013. There are four main principles that help ensure this oath can be upheld and ethics are being prioritized in healthcare. The first principle is autonomy. Autonomy promotes informed consent, ensuring the patient is informed on their condition, the treatment, and the consequence of the procedures or treatments needed. Non-maleficence links to do no harm. Basilios 2013 states this principle is the general ability to avoid causing harm to others, either directly or indirectly. Beneficence guides professionals to do good. Patients define their own good sometimes, so it is up to the professionals to ensure that they are balancing their knowledge and the wishes of the patient to do good for their health. The final principle is justice, which relates to fairness. Simply stated, all people in similar situations should be treated the same, just like people in different situations should be treated differently. Basilios 2013. Another element of healthcare is resource allocation. There are four approaches to resource allocation: allocation by expert panels, community consensus, lottery, and court order. Allocation by expert panels is when findings of experts determine whether coverage for certain services is too costly for the amount of benefit received and if it needs to be eliminated. Community consensus is a list of articulated principles. The list includes 709 different health care benefits ranked in order of perceived value. Allocation by lottery represents coverage through a random drawing when there is a higher need for coverage than there is availability. Allocation by court order is used to override certain regulations in place. The court has the ability to override decisions when certain cases are brought to court. There are also two fundamental moral questions asked with resource allocation. The procedural justice question is, what do ethics require of the processes and policies that help determine resource allocation? And the distributive justice question is, when are health and healthcare inequalities unjust and in need of correction? Perhaps one of the most major moral and ethical concerns fall into medical malpractice. According to CHILEA 2016, malpractice is an act of omission by a medical professional that does not follow the set standards of practice in the medical community and then causes injury to the patient. Medical professionals are expected to provide proper care, and the care should be to standards that are set. Medical malpractice can be done through negligence, whether the professional neglects to do the right thing or sometimes neglects to do anything at all. Frivolous lawsuits have created concerns, and steps are being taken to ensure malpractice suits are taken very seriously. The final element of healthcare we will be discussing is cultural competency. Bastilio's 2013 states there are 3 principles of cultural competency: acknowledgement of the importance and prevalence of culture in people's lives, respect for cultural differences, and minimization of the negative consequences arising from cultural differences. Pal Sears 2012 acknowledges that the World Health Organization and other organizations have deemed it necessary for medical schools to respond to the diverse health needs of patients. Medical schools have instituted cultural competency education programs aimed at improving doctors' attitudes, skills, and knowledge when caring for racial and ethnic patients. These classes provide information about cultural patients through education in group-specific health beliefs, practices, and customs. In conclusion, no matter what element of healthcare we discuss, healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Decisions need to be made based on rules and standards, but also must be viewed ethically and morally. And standards are to be followed fairly and equally in all patients. Thank you for your time. I look forward to further discussions.